Welcome to the Utah Attorney General Training Center. With the support of the Utah Legislature, Governor, and many other public safety partners, my office is committing new resources and our legal expertise to advance law enforcement training here in the state of Utah. In the VirTra Virtual Reality Training Facility, you will have the opportunity to practice critical skills, including tactics, crisis communication, and de-escalation, along with managing stress in critical incidents and decision-making in the most realistic, safe training environment that we can possibly provide. As you refine your skills and increase your confidence, you will be better able to operate effectively in the most intense situations that you face. I thank you personally for your integrity and your commitment to keeping our communities safe and protecting the rights of all persons in Utah. I'm truly honored to serve with each of you.
The VirTra system is an incredibly sophisticated and elegant computer system. Off here to my left, there is a tower. It's really a supercomputer. And that supercomputer allows video images that have been filmed in high-quality motion picture filming environment to then interact with an officer who's on the training platform behind me. There are nearly 100 scenarios with many hundreds of endings to those scenarios. An officer may be called up onto the training platform, not know what kind of a call she will encounter. That's just like real life. And the VirTra system then processes the inputs from the officer. That is, what the officer says will then guide what happens in that scenario, and sometimes what the officer does. The officer may be put into a situation where suddenly one of the persons in the scenario uses force, and then the officer is compelled to make a forced decision. The VirTra system is virtual reality, and it's the closest thing that we've seen to really training officers at the speed of life in the environment of life without any real long-lasting negative consequences. You know, what you see behind you here is no different than what our airline pilots do twice a year. They go to a very sophisticated virtual reality center where they land planes that landing gears failed to open, or there's a fire in one of the starboard engines. And in those situations, through virtual reality, the airline pilot realizes how to deal with a crisis in a very calm, reasoned manner. And that's really what's happening right here.
I can't encourage officers enough to attend this training. It is absolutely critical.
Definitely. I would recommend this to anybody, any chief, any police department, to go through the system, to train every officer.
I got a lot out of using the simulator, even after being in law enforcement for 18 years and being on the SWAT team for 12 years and being in some of those situations. I still get value out of using the VirTra just by getting more experience with different scenarios.
I have been practicing law and defending police officers for about 20 years now. If and when you get involved in a situation, hopefully my goal is to be able to have jurors be put in it themselves, because the goal is to have the jurors stand in the officer's shoes. And so to be able to then show them this training that you have received can really help in the defense of a case as well.
It's like being there. Those quick decision-making skills, the quick communication skills. I mean, what do you say to a guy that's holding a gun to somebody's head? A lot of people just go into that mindset of put the gun down, put the gun down, put the gun down. It doesn't really go anywhere. So how do you get out of that mindset and start to try and really communicate?
It's not just a use of force tool, but it's really a patrol tool where guys are learning how to use those skills, use de-escalations, use crisis communication.
Practice communication skills. Practice policing in a very real-world environment in a way that we never could in the traditional training environment.
The main limitation of shooting on a static range like this is the targets don't really move, they don't interact with you. So on a static range, there really is no interaction with a piece of cardboard. It can either turn or face you, and that's about it. It does not respond to you.
You can't effectively communicate if there's not a two-way dialogue, and this system is very unique in that it allows true communication between police officers and persons in distress, and it teaches officers that many times you can resolve that situation without ever using force.
The need to communicate back and forth, I had never seen another simulator that can create that need to communicate, and if you don't, you're not going to be successful.
I know several agencies have invited media members to participate in these types of trainings, and the media members have come from these trainings with a different perspective and a greater respect for law enforcement.
So just like in real life, they never know what's going to happen next.
At the same time that we're providing virtual reality training to Utah law enforcement professionals, we are also hosting community leaders, educators, faith leaders, legislators, media, and others to introduce them to the difficult and potentially life-threatening situations that frequently confront you. We're seeing critics transformed into supporters as they experience the almost impossible situations you often face.
This system helps officers communicate in a way that they are reweaving the fabric of trust in their own community. And that's one of the powerful tools here.
I highly recommend that all law enforcement officers participate in this training. It will change the way you think, it will change the way that you act, and it can help save your life and the lives of others into which you come in contact.
We hope that you will benefit from your experience with the VirTra training system. You will make difficult choices, use your best tactics, and operate at full speed under stressful and difficult situations, but in a very safe environment. We're committed to providing the best opportunity for you, and we look forward to seeing you here in our facility.